Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Launch Project. I am Matthew R. Meehan, alongside my partner, the Professor Luigi Rosabianca. What's on tap today, Lou?
Matt, today's going to be an all-star game. We've got Nick Jain joining us on the podcast, and Nick Jain has a wonderful resume. He's a graduate of Harvard Business School. He was working at the investment firm Bain Capital, and now he is the CEO of IdeaScale, a very innovative software company that he will explain to us. So, Nick, and most importantly, he's a newly minted dada. Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you so much. And my baby's sleeping, so life is starting to get really good again.
Okay, so we'll speak very softly. Tell the audience what IdeaScale is.
No, I don't mean he's sleeping right now. I mean he's sleeping through the night, which is a huge thing for new parents. Apologies.
Absolutely.
So what is IdeaScale, and how do businesses use it for interacting with their consumers and branding purposes?
Sure. So IdeaScale is a social network for ideas. So you think on Facebook or Instagram, you post photos of your cats, your family, your vacation. On IdeaScale, you post ideas. And these could be ideas for your new marketing campaign, your new product, snacks in the kitchen. And you post an idea. This could be you, your customer, your employees, and then other people, also your customers, employees, business partners, vote on that idea. They say, hey, this new product that you're going to launch, Luigi, is a great product. This snack you're going to have in the kitchen is terrible. Or you have this good idea, but here's how we make it a little bit better and iterate on this idea. So our customers are major organizations, Comcast, Pfizer, major restaurant chains, ING Bank, US Post Office, and they use them to engage both internally with their employees as well as externally. And externally is really where the power is, because you are grabbing the full power of the crowds, the power of your networks to engage with your company and organization.
Well, as a graduate of business school, you can appreciate why case studies help us understand the application. So can you give us a true example on how a company used IdeaScale and how it then was applied to their business?
Sure. I'll anonymize it a little bit, but one of the biggest restaurant chains in the world, someplace that you've probably been in the last month or so, said, hey, we have run out of ideas for what our new menu items should be. Let's go ask our customers. So this huge restaurant company went out to used our platform to ask all of their customers, hey, what should our new items be on our menu? And thousands of people around the world, in China, in the United States, in India, in Switzerland, suggested ideas for what the new menu items should be. Other people voted on these ideas, and then the best item ultimately got put on the restaurant's rotating menu. And the cool thing is, two things happened, right? Number one, the restaurant chain got an amazing idea for what menu items should go on. And number two, they got to really engage with their customers and say, we care about what you think, which is so powerful for a lot of organizations, because their customers want to feel heard.
So this was either an olive oil infused coffee or a McRib.
I'm not going to give I will say there was meat products involved. I won't get too specific there.
So let me ask you a question, Nick. How was it going from a monster company like Bain, having a big framework, different departments, somebody to, walk in their office if you had an issue, help you out, to running a smaller company? How was that transition?
Sure. So I've never run, the largest company I've run was a $100 million revenue trucking company, which was a very different scale than a mid-sized software company, which I run today. I think there's three things that are a bit different. Number one is you have fewer resources. You don't have a CFO and a head of marketing and somebody you can just walk into and ask for world-class expertise. Sometimes you're going to wear many hats. And so at IdeaScale, for example, I am the chief marketing officer, chief product officer, and chief executive officer. Thankfully, we have head of engineering and head of marketing in other places. Number two is you can move faster. So one of the downsides of large organizations is when you want to do something, you have to engage so many stakeholders. You have to talk to 8 different department heads. You have to schedule meetings. Today, if we want to do something at IdeaScale, the junior most employee can say, hey, Nick, we've got this good idea. Or they don't even have to involve me. They can say, we've got this good idea. We're going to have a meeting with engineering and product, and it'll be out next week. And that's wonderful, where you don't have to get involved. You don't have 8 levels of authorization required. You can just get stuff done fast. And number 3, just from a personal it's so much more fun for me personally to work at a smaller organization because it means that I make a difference. And I don't mean this in a fluffy like way where I'm out there to, change the world, but it's fun knowing that you matter, that I create jobs for people, that I create value for my employees. It gives meaning to my life and and one of the reasons why I show up to work every day.
So it's that old analogy, right? It's that turning a cruise ship and then turning a speedboat. You can move a lot faster. But it's a curse too as well, right? Because you may move too fast on something you're not sure of. But I guess it's a blessing too, because you can try more things. And
yes, you can try more things and you can turn back. When you screw up, when a big company, when you build a $3 billion semiconductor fab facility that Intel or TSMC or NVIDIA built, once you build that $3 billion facility, it takes 5-6 years to build. And if you screw it up, you're screwed. You can't like unbuild it. Here, we make, when we make a decision, we run a little experiment. And if the experiment fails, we just say, okay, failed experiment, let's go try something else. Or we just go backwards. And that, particularly in the world of software, that's something you can do. You try a new feature. You thought it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Customers hated it. You just cancel it. Go back to the prior version. So that's something you can do both because you're a small organization as well as specifically in the world of software too.
You went to Dartmouth. You went to Harvard Business School. I got a question for you. What's one thing that they didn't prepare you for? What's the top thing that you're like, nah, maybe this works in theory, but not in reality?
So I think leadership, right? So there were classes on leadership at Harvard Business School, and I think number one, a lot of the stuff we learned was really fuzzy and really general. It's like the stuff your dad or mom would tell you, like, be a good person, be charismatic, be loud. But those aren't things you can just learn in a lecture hall. You actually have to go experience them. And your leadership style may be very, very different than mine, given the types of individuals we are, and both can be effective. And conversely, I could do, if I took your leadership style and applied it, I'd probably fail because I'm not you. And that's one of the things that we took a bunch of classes on it, but I do not think I felt prepared coming out. And certainly the skills I learned in business school for leadership were not relevant to actually trying to evolve and become an effective leader in the way that I can be.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that. I think dealing with different personalities is a hands-on experience, especially with anybody in your team. As a matter of fact, me and Luigi, we had hired a chief results officer that came in and they did a personality test on everybody. So we're still learning that as we go.
So, Nick, part of your business's mantra is this theory of idea meritocracy. Can you explain to the audience what idea meritocracy is and how it's basically the fundamental philosophy of IdeaScale?
Yeah. So in many organizations, if you really are honest, whose voice matters, which ideas win? And they're the ideas or words that come out of the senior most person. The term is
he
hippo.
Speaks loudest.
Yeah, he who speaks loudest or she who speaks loudest, or the term is hippo, highest paid person in the organization's opinion, right? That's the one who matters. When the CEO says something, they could say the dumbest thing ever, but guess what? They're the CEO and everyone's going to nod their heads and say yes, right? That is not how well-run organizations work. In fact, if you look at the research, the organizations where the best ideas win tend to win over the long run over the ones where, the loudest or the most annoying or the most senior person says something. So what IdeaScale does is our software and our entire philosophy and reason for existing is that we say, look, an idea should stand on its own merit. So you can have a great idea that comes from somebody junior who speaks with a funny accent on the other side of the world, who looks a little bit different than the leaders of the organization. And that's okay because they can still have great ideas. And so what it means is like the greatest new product ideas can rise from the bottom of the organization, side of the organization, satellite office, from your frontline employees, the ones who are interacting with customers and seeing their needs, rather than from like some boardroom from some 70-year-old person who has no idea what's really going on in the real world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that statement more. I think if you only listen to the C-suite that's looking to keep their jobs and their salary and play it safe, you're never going to be able to innovate, right? And eventually you're going to be a dinosaur. You're going to be Blockbuster Video, right? You're going to be all these other companies that just refuse to change until it was too late.
I have a fun example, by the way. So we use our own software to figure out how we build our product better. And so I'm the CEO of the company. I post ideas saying, hey, we should build this new feature. And it's really funny seeing my own employees publicly saying, Nick, we're voting down your idea. This is why it's a bad idea. And not only does that speak volumes of our culture where people feel comfortable doing that, but it also means Nick's stupid ideas don't end up in the product, right? The best ideas end up in the product, which is how a company really should run. And that's what really we encourage our customers to do, that, hey, who the hell cares that the senior most person said this? What really matters is what's good for the customer, for the people that you are actually trying to provide a product or service to.
But Nick, there's also, I'm assuming, this parallel universe where that stupid idea of yours may have inspired an ancillary idea that stemmed from that initial conversation.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's a public forum. You're absolutely right. My stupid ideas could nonetheless create good ideas down the line, because they will be there, and they may be stupid either because they're just bad ideas, or somebody may say, hey, Nick, you have a good idea, but it's not relevant for us for right now with our product strategy, what our customers' needs are. It's very low priority. That idea could either, as you said, inspire better ideas, or conversely, in 2 years' time, that idea could naturally bubble up and say, now Nick's bad idea is actually really relevant for us today.
So Nick, let's give credit where credit is due, because we were a little bit harsh on business schools for not teaching leadership. But I'm certain you are the Michael Jordan of financial statements. Can you express to the audience how important it is for executives, small business owners, and even C-suite managers to be fluent with financial statements and understanding underlying finances of a business?
Oh, 100% yes. You asked me like a passion question. Like, I believe every executive needs to be able to read some accounting statements and do some basic return on investment analysis using real math. And the reason is twofold. Number one, if you can't read financial statements, you have no idea how your business is doing. And that's really dangerous. Whether you're a marketer, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a CEO, you need to know what you're doing. It's like driving with having covers on your windshield. You never do it, no matter how good a driver you are, no matter even if you're the person in the passenger seat, right? You don't want to be in a car where the windshields are blackened. Number two is it helps, even aside from flying blind, you actually also make better decisions when you understand what the implications of those decisions are. So any business at the end of the day, whether you're making sandwiches or computers, needs to return a profit. Otherwise, employees lose their jobs, customers lose their products, etc. And you don't know whether you're creating good decisions that result in good financial results unless you can actually read those financial statements. By the way, and the awesome thing is, number one, it's not that hard to learn this skill. It's not rocket science. Number two, ChatGPT and these Gemini tools can help you do it. So it's so much easier today than it was even 3 years ago.
Yeah, we put a course together for financial fluency for smaller business owners, because when they start their business, they're just usually really good at what they do, and they don't understand the business aspect. And unfortunately, most of them run their business day by day on what their bank account balance is, not looking to what they did in the past. We have an acronym over here called bank account daily, right? BAD. We can't make decisions based upon what our daily balance is in the bank account. We have to forecast what's going forward.
I have a funny example. So I run a small real estate investment business on the side, just a couple of small rental properties. I actually, and this is not a lot of money involved, right? Like a couple $1,000s of revenue a year type of thing. However, I have still full financial statements involved there, partially so I can report it to the government, but partially so I actually know what the hell is going on. So I can tell my wife, who's my board member, hey, our real estate business is losing money or not, right? Because I should be able to tell her honestly with a straight face that is my side hobby, making money, losing money, whatever, right? And that's important for tiny.
Matt and I always say, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I was a trained mathematician. I actually would go a step further. If you can't measure it, it's not real.
Yeah. Is there any truth to the rumor that mathematicians and financial gurus and executives that are really good with financial statements are good poker players?
I don't know if it's generally true. I can tell you that I play a lot of poker and I'm reasonably good. What I would say is, like, when I was in Wall Street, almost everyone knew how to play poker, but turns out that a lot of people were actually really bad at playing poker because I think in my point of view, I think you need three things in poker. Number one, you need to understand the math. There is math involved in poker, as with any other card game. Number two, you need to understand risk and be willing to take calculated risks. If you're too scared of things that aren't all, then you're going to lose. And number three, there's the social psychology part of the game too, right? That as much as we love it in movies, it does matter. You need to be able to like read people and bluff and use aggression, but also use cowardice once in a while too.
You know,
When have you applied your poker skills to business? Can you think of a situation where maybe you've bluffed someone or you kind of maybe rolled the dice when you shouldn't have?
Sure. So I never bluff. I will say this, and I want to be very precise in this. I never bluff with the intent of trying to show that I'm more manly or more aggressive than you. I don't have that kind of male machismo ego. I do take calculated risks where I say, hey, there's a 80% chance I'm right and 20% chance that I'm wrong. So I take those calculated bets all the time, and I use the exact same philosophy when making a poker decision that, hey, I'm willing to bet it all if I'm going to win 80% of the time, because that's a good payout. The same thing happens in business. When we make a business decision, for example, we just released a new product today. We're about 70% sure it's going to succeed, but 30% chance it's going to fail, right? And what's the cost of failure? I just have to, I wasted 2 months of development effort, and we have to roll back the version. We have some egg on our faces. The 70% chance that it succeeds, I just made an awesome product for my customers. So the number one, I'm going to win more often than I lose. And number two, when I win, it's really good. And when I lose, it's not that bad. And so that's the exact same decision-making philosophy that I would use it as a poker table in making business decisions.
Yeah, I just read that Chamath, he wants to start a new poker league, right? And he's got some rules in there he wants to. It doesn't go on for 24 hours straight. Nobody can be on Adderall. Nobody can be on anything that keeps them up. No sunglasses, no hoodies. We got to be able to see your face. It's going to be interesting if he pulls this off.
So, fun fact, do you know why people wear sunglasses, or why you should wear sunglasses when playing poker?
I thought it's just so nobody wants to see the tells.
Yes, but it's a specific tell. It is not where people assume it's based on you looking at your players or things like that. Okay. No, it is because your pupils dilate when you have good cards.
Really?
And it's uncontrollable physiological reaction. So you could be sitting there stone faced, have totally no tells.
The excitement of 4 aces makes you dilate.
Yeah, your eyes naturally, uncontrollably, like at an evolutionary lizard brain level. And it's hard to see with somebody who's got like brown or dark eyes like me. But if you have blue or green eyes, I can tell from 1.5 meters away that your eyes just got twice as big, and that is uncontrollable. And you can't even shrink those eyes down.
That's a great tell.
So that's the actual secret why like good players actually wear sunglasses, because they are aware that there's this uncontrollable like lizard brain tell.
How often do you play?
Say that again?
How often do you play?
So prior to my son being born, I used to play, every Friday night for 10 to 20 hours, depending on with no Adderall or a drug assistance, by the way, just like strong
sessions. That's borderline degeneracy.
It was. I would say I was not an addicted gambler. I consistently won, and it was my Friday night, my solo experience. I haven't played a real game of poker since my son was born back in November, so 3-4 months. I play a little bit of online for a couple hours a week now, but between work and family, no more time to do that anymore.
So scaling right now, scaling IdeaScale, right, is first priority number one. What other side ventures do you think you're going to get involved with besides real estate? Anything else are you looking into?
Well, so, being a father is a big one. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I'm trying to earn a full computer science degree on the side, mostly out of just interest. So I was, trained as a mathematician. I can code a little bit, but I'm not a software engineer. And I figured I'm working in tech. Let's go actually get a full software engineering degree. So I'm spending 20, 30 hours a week doing that. And there's 1 or 2 small apps I'm building just on the side, potentially something that's commercializable, potentially just something to prove that I did it for my own fun and experience.
Oh, yeah? Well, I mowed the lawn this weekend.
I do all my repairs for my real estate business, by the way.
Degree and,
hey, I do all my repairs manually for my real estate business. So 2 weeks ago, I built a railing. 3 weeks ago, I repaired some electrical outlets.
You sleep?
Not very much. Like right now, between midnight to 5:30 is my sleep time most days now.
Wow. So,
but this is fun, by the way. Like I want to be emphasized that I'm not doing these things. Thankful.
Listen, I love you.
I do it out of joy.
I love your energy.
I love working with my hands. I was a carpenter in high school, so I love going out to my properties and doing repairs manually rather than hiring somebody else to do it.
What was it like when you first came here from India?
So I came from India to Canada at age 5, and I grew up in Canada from 5 to 18.
Okay.
So when moving from India to Canada, it was you're 5, you don't really know what's going on. But I have a funny story. We're driving back from the airport in Canada and the preschool that I went to in India was called Wendy's. Okay. And on the way back from the airport to my parents' home in Canada, the very first time I'm in Canada, I see this big, red sign of a girl with, red hair. It said Wendy's. And I asked, hey, is that where I'm going to school? Right. And it was obviously Wendy's, the restaurant chain, not Wendy's, my preschool. So it's certainly a very different experience when you emigrate from a non-Western culture to a Western culture. Moving from Canada to the United States for college, that was, not much of a big change.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of funny. They asked me if I knew how to open a bank account. I'm like, yes, it's the exact same system.
Nick, I hate to impose upon you, but IdeaScale is wonderful for larger businesses. The majority of our audiences are salt of the earth, the trades, small to medium-sized businesses. Is there some sort of freebie or freemium you could throw our small business audience to kind of give them some insights on how IdeaScale works and how they could possibly apply it for their business?
Yeah, so our software is completely free for teams or organizations less than 100 people. Literally, you just have to go to our website, click Get Started Free. It takes 5 seconds to sign up. No
Awesome.
downloads required. There's that Get Started Free button on the screen right now. Click there, sign in with Google. You are up and running in 5 seconds. And it's just like a social media board. You post your ideas, and your ideas could be snacks that you want in the kitchen, product lines that you want in your hardware store, whatever. Or Hayes' password. Thankfully, he's not showing on the screen. But there you go. You're logged in. You just create a campaign that, hey, this is snacks you want in your office kitchen or new products that you want in your hardware store. Software is completely free, no strings attached. You don't like us, delete all your data, export it. And the use case, I think, for small organizations is it's a good place to keep all of your ideas, right? And ideas could be, hey, we need to buy these 10 new parts for our piece of software, for our hardware store. These are new features we need to build for our software. And it's just a good place to keep your ideas that are a lot better than Post-it notes stuck on a physical whiteboard. I
love it. I'm definitely going to be using it. It's IdeaScale.
I encourage literally no strings attached, which is awesome because I hate the Roach Motel model where people try and trap you in. Here, you don't like IdeaScale? Take all your data and leave, but we're pretty sure you're going to stay because it's just like, A, it's free, and B, it's designed to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using it. It's IdeaScale.com. Now, Nick, if people want to get in touch with you personally, what's the best way? LinkedIn, Twitter, X?
Sure. So, 2 ways.
Twitter.
Number one.
Poker tournaments.
Poker tournaments.
Not anymore. Not anymore, right? Maybe not for quite a while yet. 2 ways to get in touch with me. Number one is my LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me. I respond to 100% of messages. My name is Nick Jain, Nick, and then Jain. So feel free to DM me. I respond to 100% of messages there. If you want to learn more about IdeaScale or our software, obviously go to IdeaScale.com. Our live support chat team, by the way, not a chat bot, responds to questions on there with an average of like 14 seconds.
Wow.
So real people, by the way. So if you've got a question, you ask on the chat on the bottom right of our website. You're talking to a real person 24/7, 365. Within, on average, 17 seconds till they get back to you.
That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah. Now, credit to them, by the way. We just literally saw that they did their monthly review of the support team like 3 days ago on our town hall. And I thought they couldn't do better last year than 22 seconds. This year, somehow they got it to 17.
These are guys that lose at the poker table with Nick at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nick, thanks so much for being here, buddy. We really appreciate your time. We want to be respectful of it. I have one question for you before I let you go. If you had to make a bet on a certain industry and take away AI, take away robotics, where would you place it right now over the next 3 years?
Food. So okay. So many areas are being disrupted with, as you said, like AI, robotics, that's taking away a lot of the stuff that human beings need or that they do for work that create value. But at the one fundamental need we all have, right? Even more primal than needing shelter. We can all live without a roof over our heads. We still need food. And at some level, either a store will need to provide that to you or government will need to provide to you. So there's a fundamental need for food that is complex and not being fully satiated, neither in developed nations nor in developing nations.
So like ag, in the ag space?
Yeah, egg, food more broadly, the full chain, not just the farming, but the entire like supply chain, from taking it from a farm to, you know, the grocery stores.
I love it. Nick, thank you so much. Everybody, that's a wrap of the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Let's go!